How would you react if you discovered that the everyday foods in your kitchen, the ones you're already accustomed to, are not just good for your well-being, but can actually reduce the risk of one of the most serious diseases of our time? More and more researchers are concluding that diet can create an internal environment in the body where diseases simply can't thrive. This is especially true if your diet regularly includes so-called alkaline foods, simple, familiar items that are, in reality, incredibly powerful allies in promoting our health and longevity. Linda, like many others, lived her life in a familiar rhythm. A slice of toast with jam and a cup of coffee in the morning, some cheese and cold cuts for lunch, and a sweet yogurt for a light dinner. Everything seemed fine until one day the doctor uttered a concerning phrase. Your test results need attention. Elevated inflammation markers, disrupted acid-base balance, fatigue that wouldn't go away, frequent headaches. These all served as warning signs. That's when Linda was advised to start with something simple, reassessing her diet. At first, Linda approached the doctor's advice with a hint of skepticism. What could some vegetables and herbs really change? But step by step, without making drastic changes, she began to incorporate those very foods into her diet that we will discuss today. 3 months later, during a follow-up examination, the results were completely different. Her blood pressure had normalized, she had lost weight gradually, and her sleep had improved. But most importantly, that familiar, lingering sense of internal tension that had previously been with her day and night had vanished. For the first time in many years, I feel like my body is working with me, not against me, she quietly said. Few people know that most familiar foods, especially processed ones like bread, sugar, cured meats, coffee, and soda, create an acidic environment in the body. It's in this environment that cells become inflamed, immunity decreases, and conditions arise that make it easier for chronic diseases, including cancer, to develop. Scientists are increasingly stating, cancer is not just about genetics, it's about the environment. This means we have more influence than we might think. Today, we will start helping our bodies ourselves. Every time we sit down at the table, we're not just satisfying our hunger, we're changing the internal environment of our bodies. Some foods increase acidity, creating conditions for inflammation, disrupting metabolism, and overloading organs. Others, on the contrary, support an alkaline balance, the very balance that allows the body to detoxify, reduces inflammation, strengthens immunity, and purifies the blood. Alkaline foods nourish us gently, naturally, without stress and heaviness. The most astonishing thing is that in such an internal environment, cancer cells simply cannot survive. So congratulations! You are on the path to understanding which simple and accessible foods can truly become a shield for your health. If you neglect your diet, your body can gradually become more acidic over time. This doesn't happen overnight, but it manifests in subtle ways. Chronic fatigue, inflammation, heaviness in the body, joint pain, digestive issues, and a weakened immune system. All of this creates an internal environment where diseases can thrive. But here's the good news. If you start incorporating alkaline foods into your diet in a timely manner, you can do more than just alleviate these symptoms. You can truly reboot your metabolism. This gives your body a chance to recover, detoxify, and become a strong, vibrant, and functional protector once again. Now, let's delve into which foods are considered alkaline, how to add them to your diet without making drastic changes, and what happens to your body when you start eating in harmony with its natural balance. It's simple, it's delicious, and it works. gently, profoundly, and without side effects. Please rate how helpful you found this video from 1 to 10 and share it with those you care about. They will appreciate it. Many people are surprised to learn that lemon is one of the most powerful alkaline foods. How can that be? It's sour, you might say. Yes, lemons have a sour taste. But once they're in the body, they turn into a true balancer of the internal environment. Regular consumption of lemons helps reduce inflammation, improve digestion, and create conditions where cells regenerate rather than break down. All of this makes lemon an important part of preventing chronic diseases, including cancer. What happens in the body? When we consume lemon, remarkable processes take place. Despite its sour taste, during digestion, lemon leaves behind alkaline residues, minerals such as potassium, magnesium, and calcium. This lowers the overall acidity, reduces inflammation, and enhances nutrient absorption. An alkaline environment is what keeps cells more vibrant and internal processes stable. In such an environment, the immune system functions smoothly, blood becomes more fluid, and inflammatory reactions are less likely to develop. This is precisely what reduces the risk of cell degeneration, including the onset of cancer. Here's a story. Martha, 71 years old, had long suffered from frequent inflammation. Her joints, stomach, and skin were all affected. Her blood pH level was low, and her chronic inflammation markers were above normal. On the advice of a nutritionist, she started her mornings with a simple habit: a glass of warm water with lemon juice. No sugar, no additives, just water and lemon. After 2 weeks, she noticed the heaviness in her body disappeared, her digestion improved, and her skin became clearer. And after 2 months, inflammatory markers dropped. I just started my day differently, and it changed my whole week, she says. You can do the same. Incorporating lemon into your daily diet is one of the simplest yet most powerful solutions. Start small. A glass of warm water with a slice of lemon each morning on an empty stomach. This is a gentle, caring way to wake up your digestion, support liver function, and create a light, alkaline environment in your body right from the start of the day. You can add lemon not just to water, but also to salad dressings, instead of vinegar, warm herbal teas, soups, or vegetable dishes. If you have sensitive enamel, simply drink lemon water through a straw and rinse your mouth with plain water afterward. The key is not quantity, but consistency. Even half a lemon a day can lead to noticeable changes. And remember, it's in those small, sustainable habits that the true power lies, enabling your body to tackle bigger challenges. Ahead, there are a few more surprisingly simple yet incredibly effective foods to explore. We often underestimate them. Parsley, spinach, arugula, and watercress may seem like mere garnishes or side dishes on our plates. But the truth is that leafy greens are among the most alkaline foods on Earth. They can help the body restore balance, reduce inflammation, nourish cells with minerals, and literally cleanse the internal environment. This means they can lower the risks associated with chronic diseases, including cancer. How do greens work? Greens are rich in chlorophyll, a green pigment that closely resembles the structure of hemoglobin. It purifies the blood, saturates tissues with oxygen, and helps eliminate toxins. Additionally, greens contain potassium, magnesium, iron, vitamin K, and folic acid, all essential for cell repair and protection against mutations. Another important effect is that greens help alkalize the body. In an acidic environment, cancer and inflammation tend to thrive. Conversely, the The alkaline environment supported by greens creates a foundation for health, where the immune system is active, metabolism is stable, and inflammatory processes are suppressed at an early stage. Here's how greens helped a man. Robert, 75, had long struggled with low energy and excess weight. He used to think that greens weren't real food. However, after visiting a nutritionist, he agreed to try an experiment: to add at least 1 cup of fresh spinach or another leafy green to his lunch and dinner every day. Just a month later, he noticed it was easier to get up in the mornings, his blood pressure had normalized, and his bowel movements were more regular. After 3 months, he had lost 13 pounds and said, "For the first time in a long while, I feel like food is not weighing me down, but actually helping me." And this at the age of 75. Incorporating greens into your diet is easier than it seems. You don't have to stick to salads, although they're great too. You can add greens to your morning omelets, blend them with bananas in smoothies, sauté them with vegetables, sprinkle them on soups, or even place them on sandwiches under a slice of avocado. For an alkaline effect, any dark green leaves will do: spinach, kale, arugula, green onions, cilantro, and dill. It's best to eat them raw or lightly steamed. And what's most important? Make it a part of your daily routine. Not as a diet, but as an act of love for your body. Because your body remembers that greens are not foreign, they are a part of you. Another vegetable that we often overlook, yet is always ready to gently support our body, is the cucumber. Let's face it, the cucumber is one of the simplest and arguably most underrated guests at our table. It seems to have almost nothing to offer. No bold flavor, no calories. But it's precisely this modesty that makes it truly valuable. The cucumber is made up almost entirely of structured water, packed with minerals, and acts as a natural and very gentle detoxifier. It helps the body cleanse itself, lowers acidity, maintains an alkaline balance, and eases the work of the liver, kidneys, and intestines without adding extra strain in a light and natural way. What happens to our bodies as we age? With age, the body loses its ability to retain fluid in the cells, the excretory system becomes less efficient, and metabolism slows down. Cucumbers gently and effectively replenish this deficit. They contain potassium, silicon, and vitamins B and C, and most importantly, they help alkalize the internal environment, reducing strain on the organs and lowering inflammation. This vegetable is a powerhouse. Additionally, regular consumption of cucumbers helps reduce swelling, eliminate uric acid, which is important for arthritis and gout, and create a cleaner, more fluid internal environment, thereby reducing the risk of cell mutations and DNA damage. Here's what happened to a man named Tom, 72 years old. He suffered from severe swelling in his legs, especially in hot weather. His blood pressure was unstable, and he often felt a tightness in his body. The doctor suggested increasing his intake of fluids and potassium. Tom started small. He began eating 2 fresh cucumbers a day, one in the morning and one in the evening, with a sprinkle of sea salt and dill. Just 10 days later, he noticed a difference. The swelling had reduced, his blood pressure became more stable, and the heaviness in his stomach disappeared. Now, he adds cucumbers to every meal and considers it the easiest remedy. Start dancing now. You've already begun helping yourself just by receiving this information. How should you eat a cucumber? To truly benefit from its alkaline properties, consume it fresh, unpeeled, and without vinegar or preservatives. It's best to eat it on an empty stomach or as a light snack between main meals. You can add it to salads, green smoothies, or chilled soups. A great combination is with lemon, mint, and water. This makes for both an alkaline drink and a kidney booster. Cucumbers can also be used externally for the skin, joints, and compresses. However, the key is consistency. Even eating just one cucumber a day can start making a difference. The more stable your habit, the deeper the effects will be. Here's another group of foods that we often think of as mere snacks, but in reality, they are true natural defenders: nuts and seeds. If we take a closer look, it becomes clear that certain types, especially pumpkin seeds and almonds, do more than just satisfy hunger. They gently alkalize the body, reduce inflammation, and nourish cells with pure energy, all without causing sugar spikes or overloading the digestive system. These small yet incredibly rich sources of vitality help the body maintain internal balance and lower the risk of many chronic conditions, including serious diseases such as cancer. So, what makes them valuable? Pumpkin seeds are rich in magnesium, zinc, omega-3 fatty acids, and plant-based proteins. They reduce inflammation, support the immune system, and protect cells from oxidative stress. Almonds, on the other hand, provide the body with alkaline minerals, calcium, potassium, and iron, and gently help maintain an alkaline balance, especially when consumed in their soaked form. These foods are particularly important during recovery, periods of chronic fatigue, weakened immunity, and in the prevention of age-related diseases. They are easier on the body than meat or dairy products, while still providing satisfaction, energy, and protection. And most importantly, they are easily digestible even for those with a slow metabolism. Here's how nuts have impacted our heroine. Nancy, 73, struggled for a long time with unstable blood sugar levels and a constant craving for sweets. After consulting with a nutritionist, she started swapping her evening snacks for a handful of soaked almonds and pumpkin seeds with a spoonful of nut butter. Just a week later, she noticed that she was waking up feeling more refreshed in the mornings. There were no sugar spikes after meals, and her feelings of hunger became more predictable. After a month, she started adding them to her morning oatmeal and salads. Now, Nancy says, I finally feel like food is working for me, not against me. How to maximize the benefits. To get the most out of them, choose unsalted, unroasted seeds and nuts. Almonds are best soaked overnight. This makes them easier to digest and activates enzymes. Pumpkin seeds can be lightly toasted, but avoid frying them. Add them to salads, cereals, mashed potatoes, smoothies, and baked goods. You can also carry a small jar with you for a healthy alternative whenever hunger strikes. The daily recommendation is 15-20 almonds or 1-2 tablespoons of seeds. This isn't a diet, it's a habit. When your body gets used to real food, it stops craving unnecessary extras. As a result, you'll feel more energetic, lighter, and experience a sense of inner clarity. Let's gather all the information together and recap it to remember it forever. Sometimes the simplest foods turn out to be the most powerful. We've learned that lemon, greens, cucumbers, seeds, and almonds are not just food. They send signals to your body that it's time to restore balance, reduce inflammation, and revitalize every cell. This is a quiet yet powerful support at a deep level. When we eat in a way that makes our internal environment alkaline, we help our bodies become what they were designed to be: self-healing systems. The most important thing is that this doesn't require drastic measures or sacrifices, just attention, patience, and a little love for ourselves. Alkaline eating is not a diet. It's not a trendy fad. It's a return to what's natural, to foods that our cells recognize as their own, to products that don't force our bodies to struggle, but rather help them thrive. You can start small. a glass of warm water with lemon in the morning, a handful of greens at lunch, a cucumber as a snack, tea with seeds in the evening. These habits don't require willpower, only intention. And believe me, your body will respond, with gratitude. Within just a few days, you'll notice clearer thinking, more energy in your movements, and calmer emotions. And in weeks and months, you'll enjoy a strengthened immune system, gentle digestion, stable blood pressure, and clear skin. Is it too late to start if I'm already over 70? This question is often heard, and the answer is simple. It's never too late to give your body a chance. Regardless of age, condition, or diagnosis, every morning presents a new opportunity. It's important to remember that alkaline foods don't directly cure cancer. However, they create an environment in which the disease struggles to thrive. This isn't a medication. It's the foundation upon which health is built. And it ultimately determines how you will feel tomorrow, in a month, or in a year. If you have chronic conditions, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. Most specialists support the idea of an anti-inflammatory diet that promotes the body's natural functions, especially when it's approached wisely and with self-love. Take the first step today. Check what's in your kitchen. Choose one item from the list we discussed. Incorporate it into your lunch, dinner, or breakfast. Start listening to your body. It will guide you to what it needs. Also, share this information with those you care about. For someone, this message might be the first step towards recovery. When one person begins to take care of themselves, it inspires others. Step by step, this can change not just your body, but your life. Imagine, it's morning. You wake up feeling light. There's no heaviness, no fatigue. Your body feels calm, your mind clear. You head to the kitchen and open the window. Breathe in the fresh air. The day is yours. On the table, there's simple food, greens, a lemon, and some seeds. And you know, you're not fighting. You're living, in harmony with your body, in harmony with nature. Your body doesn't operate at its limits. It functions at full capacity like a well-tuned, grateful machine. And this isn't the result of strict diets or pills. It's simply a few easy choices made with love. Because health isn't a struggle. It's care. It's a rhythm. It's a journey. And on this path, no matter where you are, you're not alone. You have strength, you have knowledge, and you have products that work quietly but deeply.